Okay, so we're going to go. I can't do the headpiece right now, so I can actually move around. We're going to go and do the, excuse me, do the arms bit, upper body bit for the work at Shuttles for the Yang style long form and the 49. That's mostly going to be the long form. That's where kind of everything has its base for that. So there's a couple different parts to it. There's, I always call, the name of the postures and like in internals are kind of what I call almost like the picture postures, because internals Taiji Shingi Bagua, you shouldn't stop. There's no actual point where you stop and hold. So I mean, I've seen it even in tournaments where people are sitting there and maybe they've got really great athleticism and good flexibility and stuff like that. They're stopping and holding and posing for it. I'm like, well, no, I'm taking points off because that's not internals. You don't stop. But especially if in early learning portions and everything like that, yeah, you do need a few places here or there to kind of be able to show where things are in order to continue the transition. So there's kind of um, there's like 4 or 5 different parts to this. The main thing that we see with orchid shuttles here is the one arm up over the head, protecting the head, and the other arm pushing out. The square hips and in the bow stance. That's kind of like the normal thing. But then there's where the pull down part with it too, that we have in Yang style. But with the transitions part, there's almost a, is it a twin dragon hold the pearl, or big rock spreads its wings like from, and there's Cheng style Bagua has one of the mother palms that's like this, and that's the transition. And then you have how it comes in and underneath. So there is kind of a lot of moving parts to this. So I know I had my own struggles with learning this, and then having to like kind of relearn it and clean it up a couple of times. And then I know a lot of my students is always sort of like the shuttles time, and we do spend extra time with this in terms of reviewing and things like that. So it. Do you hear this? Do you want to say hi, little Luna Aria? That's Luna Aria. She's very talky. She's been more and more talky lately. You've been more and more talky lately, haven't you? Yes, you have. Yes, you were just sleeping a second ago. So I definitely understand that there's struggles with it. The timing sometimes is struggles, and then the different moving parts and everything too. So we're gonna work on the upper body arms bit here. Let me just give little Lala here, little Aria baby. Give her a little more scratches. Oh, I know. I know. Do you want to get up here? You can't get up here because you're probably going to knock my computer down. And that would be bad. There she is, little baby girl. Oh, baby girl. I feel like I'm about to do my Bob Ross here. We rescued this little baby and her brothers about 8 years ago, a little more than 8 years ago. And we found good homes for the other ones. And we kept this little baby. She was the runt. And I told her she was my little project, and I wouldn't let her die. Now here she is, 8 years later, and healthy little baby. I know you want to get up there, but you're not going to get up there. Okay, so try to step on her. We're going to go from. We start off with a single whip. We're just going to go from where it begins. We're just going to go long form with this. Don't worry about the 49 or the one of these that shows up in the 16 or anything. Just from the long form with this. So if we start from single whip and we come in, we'll work on the hands and feet together, but we come in, so this comes across here. It's going to come across that center line, under, So it's got a, there's another part to it, I'm sorry. I'm used to, let me go from, so it comes in and out. So if we go up, there's going to be the palm bit. So it's got to come across, and then we're going to have this like this passing transfer under the arms. So I come over, in. So I'm trying to build from this now. I didn't explain that well, I just realized. So we're trying to build. So we have passing under. So we pass under, pass under, pass under, pass under. So and there are times we've talked about in Xingyi where you still want to have that with the arms, that actual rubbing with the arms. Not only is it going to help in terms of building sensitivity, but it's also going to help in terms of when you're connected with the opponent, being able to, if you're connected in here and sticking or even just pressing in or trying to neutralize, that helps you get up and be able to pass it over. So if we practice passing from underneath, you can even make like a stepping thing of it too. If you want, you can kind of come from the outside, you can come from the inside with it too, but the hand will penetrate under, and you want to go behind the elbow and then right up, pull back and push. So we have it where we come out and do that passing. Sorry, I kind of had to pause it there. We're getting one of the helicopters over, and it was just loud and lasted a while. So there's a sort of pass and then pass with it. So we start from single whip. Now wrist, shoulder, shoulder, wrist. That's the alignment kind of across here. We're going to come in, cut. We come back, the other hand is going to circle under, and there's that first pass. And again, this is going to probably make more sense with the feet involved, but we're just going to add this in here now. So we come up, pass, lift, there's that splitting, rotate and push. The backhand, the pushing hand, since it's yang, is going to become yin, and the top hand, since it's up, is going to come down. So yang into yin, and will come when the weight comes back. You might see around here solar plexus. You can come in solar plexus and like dantian too. It's kind of the way I was taught with it. Again, it's going to make a little bit more sense with the feet, but that's kind of the first with the two. So we come in from single whip, just the arms, cut and parry, under, pass, under, split, and it's passing as well, sort of passing the guard, but splitting, split, so up and back, rotate, and push. So like we've talked in other videos, the arms up, and you rotate the forearm, not lift the shoulder to up the ear or blocking with the elbow. We rotate the arm and then push out. Yang Jun was talking about this as a similar push to brush knee. And when we come across and here, we want to have the hand a little bit above the shoulder. I was usually taught about wrist shoulder height, which might bring that hand up a little bit above it. So it kind of seems a couple different ways to say similar things. The way I was sort of taught to look at it is kind of alignment with the joints. At least seemed to me with it in terms of how that was talked about with the alignment with that. So from single whip, we come in and cut, come in underneath, pass, underneath, lift with the split, rotate and push, pull down and press. So this is pulling back and down. This is pressing down. Now, as again, this is going to be different with the feet, but as we just sort of practice here, rotate both palms up and bring the elbows forward. I don't know if you can see it, but that makes it so there's that curve, anterior deltoid, ANTE, so the before part, median, posterior. Set that curve in with the chest. So in other words, as we're coming in and turning, we're not sticking our chest out here and doing one of those or anything like that. We still want to come in. So we're here, we come in, and it's going to be the same. Pass under, lift, push, pull down, lift up, pass, lift, push. And then the last one's going to be all the way around. So one of the things you can practice besides, that passing, and you can think about it, again, like parry, pass coming to the outside and triangulate in, or you can think of if you're sneaking kind of into out as well. You can kind of work both with that. Working with a partner, it might have to be a little shorter, a little smaller. You're not getting that full, like from the movies sort of thing like that. It doesn't really work with people, real people in real situations that much. But again, we sort of train big. So when it is small, that largeness of energy, that carry through, that follow through goes in even as we're maybe playing smaller. The intent is still bigger with it. So you can practice this, and then when you're going to practice the form, the posture I should say, you come under, lift and split. So come under, ride the arm, and split. So remember with the internals, the sort of other side is just as important as the sort of main one. The main thing you're tempted to think about is just lifting here. Well, this isn't going to be as effective if you don't have this, because we're using the whole body. So the whole body is going this, lifting and coming out. So that means in order to be, again, unified with the whole body, correct in terms of, I've even seen people talk about it where, we're talking about the fluid pressures in the body. And so if something's coming up and out, that means something down and back has to happen. And if you kind of lock that or stifle it, then it's going to be like stuck in the body. Because we're working with fluid pressures, because we're not trying to work on muscle strength or anything like that. So if we have up and out, then we have to have kind of back and down. And that's going to be, again, leading from, stepping on anyone, leading from the dantian and the hip. So as I come in, that here is going to be what's going to drive the rest of this up. So as you pass, come under, split, so we can, lift the hand, bring back the elbow with the palm almost like you're holding, like you're pulling back. Rotate and push. Pull down and press. We're going to rotate the forearms again and turn the palms up. So we can come in, underneath, we're going to do the other side, lift, and push. Pull down and press. So this is sort of just single, not even single step. I'm not even moving my feet. I'm just trying to get the upper body involved. So pull down and press. So this hand, as it pulls down, think like a roller coaster. When it comes down, it's got to come back up and out. So as this comes down, it's got to come up and out. And this hand it's got that little curl with it to lift up as well. So which hand, I've lost which hand we're in. So the You know, what's forward comes back, what's back comes forward. So we come in. Oh, that was the same hand, wasn't it? I'm sorry. So we did this, so we got to come underneath. So this backhand comes in and up. I lost where I was. Easy to do with this, so I'd get it. And we pull in and back. So we come under, split, rotate, and push. And pull down and press. Circle up. Dive under, split, and push. Pull and press. I'll do a couple more here. So I just had the left hand up, right hand push. So that means that right hand's going to come forward. And we lift up the right hand, rotate, and push. Pull down, circle up, dive under, lift, and push. Pull in and down and press down. Up. This is back. We want to come forward. So I come under. So there we go. It's going to scoop, but I don't lose that space between the arm and the body. I don't lose that. I keep that. I'm not collapsing in and, you know, on my arm. It still has that curve. You always want to keep that. It's almost like this spine of punging, a little bit of that spine of that expansion, you know, kind of holding up like the boat on the water. So there's always that thread of punging. And in here is all, okay, got a lot of pung here, and they'll even say, and saw Young Jun say it on the videos and everything, pung. They say it in the books that we talked about, punging. So you still have that rounded, supported through the feet, then up through the body, being able to with it. You know, a lot of the times I'll have, you know, everyone's bigger than me. Kind of the big guys kind of pressing in. And yeah, you can, when your alignments are correct, yeah, again, you're gonna have muscle activation with it because you can't not, because that's how we actually move and hold things up. But you can definitely be able to neutralize when the alignment's correct, and you can feel it through the floor. You can feel like their force going through and grounding into the floor, and then having that kind of help, you know, bolster you up with that too. Then you start bringing up the other hand with that as well. But now if you're able to kind of, you know, parry their force, parry it, keep that pung so you don't collapse, and then deliver that strike too. Palm strike, and you know, since it's palm, you can hit into the hard part, which is going to suck. You can also hit, you know, you got, this is my right side, so liver, the spleen over here, stomach, seal the breath. You got all sorts of palm strikes, man. You do palm strikes right there, and they're mean. They can get mad. Everyone thinks when I hit with this all the time and everything like that, like, man, you hit a freaking palm strike in there just right. Yeah, sucks. The receiving end sucks. So I don't know. I'll keep going and do the footwork bit and then put it together. And that put it together one is probably going to be the one that is going to be the granddaddy long bit of the videos. The footwork one's probably going to be a little bit longer too, just because that does seem to be what's a little bit more confusing to some people, but also is going to be the thing that's going to make the arm bit make more sense when we get to putting everything together. So this part was just trying to, like, you know, get people familiar with the arm bits, you know, the you know, thinking in how it starts from single whip, doing that sort of passing bit underneath, knowing how to keep the arm rotating without the shoulder and elbow getting popped up. the pull down and press and then transition. And that's going to, like we do with, you know, repulse monkey, you come up, it's similar thing where the arms are the same. You see, I'm not directly like three, if I'm looking at 12 o'clock, I'm not directly 3 and 9. I'm like 2 and 8, and the elbows are a little bit forward because we want to, again, keep the chest relaxed, raise the back, keep the shoulders from getting too activated with it. In repulse monkey, we come up, and I'm like 90, this is 90 degrees. So if I'm at, 12 and 3, I'm not. I'm at 135 degrees. So if 90 and then add 45. This way you can keep, again, the shoulders and chest relaxed. You can keep the torso as one unit because you don't want, again, the thoracic hinge to bind. So if my sternum is pointing this way, I want my navel and abdomen and lower dantian facing the same way. As all three dantians should be, if they have a compass point on them, facing the same way. If I over rotate, then you can see how that's uncomfortable. But you over rotate, and that's what it's going to look like. These alignments are going to be off. We don't want that. We want to keep everything here so the alignments are together. So over rotating, even with those transition, you can over rotate even from single whip. But it's almost like that thing with single whip with this too. So you see how it's not, simplified Taiji has it at 9, add the 45 degrees, and there you go with Yang style. But open the palms, and it's the same thing as we, come in and pass and go through with that. I think the Yangs might have sort of taken out like a step up from it. I hope I remember to do this when we do the next bits. I think they in modern times sort of simplified part of the steps. So what I'm going to show with this is the way I was taught, and the way that we sort of made sure and went back to a lot of the older Yang stuff to be able to make it more correct, closer to like Yang Chen Fu. So I know my teacher did a couple of the seminars, and I remember he even said it was between these two seminars, only like a year or two apart or something like that, they had made like little changes and little tweaky things. So between the books that we showed you in the sort of theory video, and then with those practices and other teachings and other trainings and seminars, I couldn't remember the word seminar, seminars for a second, this is sort of the way I was taught and the way that I will show in class as well. So yeah, so that's sort of the arm bits, little parts to practice that you can do. I mean, you can even link another one. Time out. Oh, I know, it's just an airplane or a helicopter doing something else. All right. Sorry, I thought that was going to get a lot louder. So you can even practice if you want. Again, I'm sort of neutral stance here. Out, up, down, under. I want you to get, it's still hard to do that. You can still kind of link them if you want, just to practice that. So you can, I have this up here. You want to pull in, lift out, so you have that sort of vertical circle. Lift, rotate, and push. So it's going to be a little bit smaller than, really getting that whole big thing in, but you can still play up, out. So you can play with that vertical circle that we've done in other videos. Up, out. You can play that. You can come up, push and pull. So it's almost, again, that vertical circle kind of going the other way. So you come up and over, press down and pull back, come up and over, press down and pull back. If you want to break it down more and just practice those individual postures in terms of standing postures, you can do it just normally, but if you put it on a bow stance, it'll work better. So almost it would be a reverse strike. So if my right hand is out, my left leg is forward, and then you can hold here, and then you can hold coming back as well, and then you can neutral stance and then hold that twin dragon, hold the pearls or big rock, stretches its wings. Again, making sure those elbows are forward. So you can practice sort of holding those different stances as well, if that helps. It might also help in terms of trying to feel the different jing that are going on, the jin that are going, jing, yeah, that are going on in there. All the Peng Li Jiang Ke Zhu Kao energies. Find them for yourself. Kind of feel with that. Being able to help feel where you're rooted with that. Keep the shoulders. You play this for so long where it's stuck. You're going to eventually learn how to make it not hurt as much. You should do at least. So that is just other stuff that you can do to kind of supplement some of this training. So they're practicing, learning how that feels. So eventually when you get into it and we're doing all the moving stuff and everything like that, it's going to make more sense, hopefully. So that's the arms bit, and we'll see you next time for the legs and feet.